Hi, my name is Edward and I was a video game addict. And if I were to take a quick estimate on how many years of my life so far was spent on video games, it's around 2,106 days or 5 years and 9 months. Back then, when online gaming was starting to become popular, and I spent a lot of time on Battle.net playing StarCraft, Diablo 2, and World of Warcraft. What about you? Share your numbers in the comments below. Looking back and analyzing myself after finally getting control of my life back a few years ago, I would like to share with every gamer 7 signs to keep an eye on before becoming completely lost in video games. Before we begin, hit that subscribe button and enable notifications to stay updated when I upload new videos. And as we go through each of the signs, I would like to remind you to not be too worried because I'll explain why at the end of today's video. Sign number 1, you are constantly thinking about video games. Even when you're not playing and doing something else, the only thing in your head is when you can play video games again. The key difference between being excited or enthusiastic to being addicted is that when you're addicted, you can no longer distinguish between what's important and focus on the more important task. And when you know that you cannot play, you inevitably feel frustrated or irritated, which is the second sign. Getting frustrated, irritated, or anxious when you are denying video games are classic symptoms of withdrawal. The difference between not getting what you want versus withdrawal is that for withdrawal, you will not be able to control your emotions and reason with yourself. If you are finding this withdrawal harder to manage, then it could be a sign that the addiction is getting serious. So you should take action and do something about your gaming habit. Sign number 3 is that you find yourself spending too much time and trying too hard to get better in video games. It is normal and actually a good thing to strive for constant improvement. But when you spend all your time trying to get good at video games and are disregarding your real priorities, then it is going to be the beginning of bigger problems in your life, which is going to be our next sign. Unless you are an esport professional and this is how you earn your living, then you should balance your time allocation for video games and other important things. The fourth sign is that you start having problems at work, school, or at home because of your gaming. Problems arise after you start spending too much time on video games and not on the necessary task. For instance, you are not spending enough time to do your homework, study for your tests and exams, so your grades in school suffer. Or you could be missing work or arriving late constantly and getting into trouble with your boss due to gaming too late into the night and cannot wake up. If you're having troubles with waking up, I have another video for that. These are just some examples, but the key point here is that if you start to have problems with your life with things that really matter, and you suspect it's because of your gaming habit, then it should raise a red flag for you that it is time to tune down gaming and get your life back into control. Sign number 5, you start losing touch with your real friends. When you spend all your time in the virtual world and not enough time nurturing your relationships with real people in the real world, eventually those relationships will deteriorate. When you start to realize that you want to go out with somebody, say watch a movie or grab a bite, but do not have anyone anymore, then it could probably mean that you are spending too much time on video games. So take a break every now and then and go out with the people who care about you. Sign number 6, you are lying to people close to you about how much time you spent on video games. This is a classic sign that I am guilty of before as well. When you need to start lying about the time you spent playing video games, it probably means that deep down, you know that you are spending way too much time on video games and either are ashamed of it or do not want to get into trouble. Doing this often will not only make you lose credibility when others find out, but eventually your mind will buy into your own lie and make you end up playing even more. Sign number 7, you start having health issues such as carpal syndrome or neck pain or obesity. When your body starts to fight back telling you that you've spent too much time in front of video games, it should be a warning sign that is not to be ignored. When you lose your health, you will no longer be able to do anything freely, and that will suck. Now that you know some common signs, before you start panicking, know that serious addiction is only when you are no longer in control of your life and are showing these signs constantly over a 1-year period. And the good news is only 3 to 4% of gamers become addicted to video games. If you or someone you know is showing a few of these signs over a short-term period, it is most likely due to excitement or just simply they are enthusiastic about gaming in general. So as long as they have their life and priorities in check, then there's nothing to worry about. But if you're concerned that someone you care about is going to become addicted to video games, feel free to share this video with them. Alright, hope today's video is helpful for you, and hit like if it is. I'll see you again in the next video.